I want to introduce you to a man who graduated from college with honors in political science, only to find out he couldn't get a job. So what are you going to do in that situation? How about go surfing in the Middle East? Jesse Aizenstat went on a 6-month journey from Israel to Lebanon. He got to experience a rare inside look at what is a deeply divided region. So he's written a book about it, and he's joining us this morning to talk about that. The book is called Surfing the Middle East, Deviant Journalism from the Lost Generation. Jesse, thanks for joining us this morning. Why the Middle East?
Well, it's really amazing. The Middle East is always in the news.
Yeah.
Just in the last few days, we saw some of the civil war violence overflowing into Syria, into Beirut, with the assassination of a top intelligence official there. This is a local news station in San Francisco, yet half of what we talked about this morning seemed to be the Middle East.
Yeah. And so you wanted to find out for yourself with a background in political science. You also wrote for the campus newspaper, so you have that going for you. And you're a surfer.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about surfing in the Middle East. Is that a primo location for surfing?
Not exactly, but it was a method for understanding the people who live there. So I wanted to experience the story.
Okay.
And I graduated from college. I applied to over 50 jobs in 2009. I couldn't get any of them. I got a freelance assignment from the Surfer's Journal to do this piece, you know, surfing from Israel to Lebanon.
Yeah.
And now there's a book
look what happened.
Yeah.
You write in the book about the first time you had to put on a flak jacket. Tell our viewers a little bit about that experience, what was going through your mind.
Yeah, well, I was on the West Bank. I was covering a protest because with my journalist friends, because I had already surfed in northern Israel, and you can't cross the Israeli-Lebanese border because they're at war. I mean, these people, you know, Israelis, Lebanese, you know, they shoot rockets at each other.
Right.
And so I had to take this inland route around that border, and I ended up in Lebanon. And you put on a flak, or in the West Bank, you put on a flak jacket at this protest, and you see these tear gas canisters coming down, and it's a mind experience like nothing else. And while there's this beautiful surf along the Eastern Mediterranean, there's sort of a horror in the violence that is this dichotomy that sticks throughout the entire book in Surfing the Middle East.
There's also a photo of you wearing what you called a gas mask. Explain that to our viewers, what that was.
Yeah, so tear gas apparently is like a very fine substance. Yeah, it's not like a gas, it's a powder. And yeah, I mean, you gotta wear the mask, otherwise you get dosed. And I just remember on the West Bank just having my cheek on the asphalt, just resting there after getting tear gas, and just thinking, oh, this is beyond terrible. Get me back to the sea.
Well, the photo that I saw, I actually had you with a plastic bag over your head.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. That was
not you.
That was a local villager.
Oh, okay.
Which is incredible because, you know, I always remember my mom growing up saying, you know, don't put like a plastic bag over your head.
Exactly.
They're doing, you know, it's a tear gas mask.
What can you tell us a little bit about the situation there that you saw that we're not getting on CNN or Fox News?
Yeah, well, most of these people you see on the national TV networks, they've never been there, they don't speak Arabic, and their legitimacy comes in the talking point. And what I tried to do is give an experiential story on what it's like. Who are these faces? And that's part of the methodology for Surfing the Middle East. Legitimacy is in being there, meeting the people, seeing who they are, what do they do, and being fun about it, and diving into it with a semi-reckless abandon.
Yeah. And how were you greeted as an American journalist, an American surfer in that region?
Well, it's great. I mean, it's funny in a certain way to think of like me walking around with a surfboard, you know, and a backpack, going around meeting people, seeing what they do.
Right.
And locals in Israel and in Lebanon had that same reaction. As soon as I walked into the Port Inn guest house in Haifa, Israel, this dude walks up to me with a cell phone with his friend on the other line, and that's how I got to know the Israeli surfers. I spent weeks with them just hanging out, seeing what they do, and surfing the great waves, but then also getting taken to sites like a knoll that had been hit by a rocket from Hezbollah in the 2006 war, and he's like, look at this. This is not California. This is the Middle East.
Having spent 6 months there and talking to the locals over that period of time, what is your hope or what is your view of where things are going in the Middle East?
Yeah, it's so hard to know. We're in obviously a very transitional period, but I think it's important for Americans to understand that the world is not often how it's reported. And we see this heavy makeup journalism that I like to call on the major news networks, and we just need to be a little cynical and look through that and remember that, yes, there's a lot of chaos in this transitional region, but we have to look beyond that and look for experiential pieces of work that really let us feel what it's like and see it.
It's an excellent tip. The title of the book again, Surfing the Middle East, Deviant Journalism from the Lost Generation. I love the title. Jesse Aizenstat is the author. There's more information on where you can see buy the book, and also Jesse's website, which I just love the name of. Give us the name of it again.
Blogging the Casbah.
Love it. All right. Jesse, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck to you.
Hey, thank you.
All right. And we'll be right back.